Hi, everybody. Bob here. Just thought I'd make a post. I haven't talked to anybody in a while, so I thought it was time. Actually, I've been kind of busy this week. I want to tell you about my experience. I'm sure a lot of you have had a similar experience, but I want to tell you about mine because there was a surprise for me. And what happened was I had cataract surgery done. I had cataract removed in my right eye last Tuesday. Of course, for a week leading up to that, I'd been doing drops and everything. So I went in Tuesday and had it removed, and it happened without incident, no problem whatsoever. And I went back to the doctor on Friday. He took a look at it and said, "Yeah, it looks like you're healing up pretty nicely." So I was glad to hear that. I'm going to have the left eye done this coming Tuesday. But what I didn't realize, and nobody had told me this, people told me that obviously you'll see clearer out of the eye. And when I close my left eye and just look out of my right, I can tell you things are much clearer. There's no question about that. When I went into the doctor's office Friday, before you see the doc, you actually sit with a technician who goes and checks your eye, your vision. She checked it out and said that I had 20/20 in my right eye. And man, was I glad to hear that. So I'm looking forward to getting 20/20 in my left eye. One thing I noticed when I was at home in the house, if I cover my left eye and I look with my right, everything is clear and relatively bright. And I do think I see color more clearly. Everything seems clearer or maybe even just a tiny bit bluish, okay? Now, when I cover my right eye, where I had the surgery, and I'm looking with my left, what I noticed is, in addition to everything being a little blurry, everything was a different color. There was a yellowish tint to everything I looked at. And I realized that was the cataract. Cataract has been coloring my vision for God only knows how many years. They told me years ago I had cataracts, but they said they weren't bad and I could deal with them later. So I just kind of put it on the back burner and forgot about it. And finally realized at 78, I finally realized, man, my vision is not what it should be. So I went and had it checked, and they said, sure enough, these cataracts have grown, and it's time to get them taken out. So I went ahead and did it. Best choice I've ever made, I think. So, but here's the thing people didn't tell me, and I'm sure many of you have already experienced this. But the cataracts actually act like sunglasses. They block a lot of the sunlight that hits your eyes. They block it. So when you go outside, and especially in the summer when the sun is very intense and bright, it doesn't hurt your eyes as much as it would somebody else. And because of that, I hadn't worn sunglasses in quite a few years. Well, the other day, I had the operation on Tuesday, so it was probably Thursday. I went out my back deck. My eyes were no longer dilated, okay? The pupils were normal. But man, when I went out on that, the sun was right overhead. When I went outside, I got a stab right in my forehead. It was like, oh, what is this? It was the intensity of the sunlight coming through that good eye that I had not had in years and years and years. So I had kind of lost that sunglass effect in my right eye, still had it in my left, so my left wasn't bothering me so much. But boy, that intense sunlight coming through unobstructed, that cataract's gone, and it hurt. It literally hurt. So after I went back inside, the first thing I did was get on the computer. And there was a company, I'm not going to say their name, There was a company that had been advertising sunglasses for some time, and I had looked at them and I thought, oh, those are nice. But now I looked at them and I said, I'm getting a pair. There's no question about it. I'm getting me a pair of sunglasses. I'm going to start wearing them. I have blue eyes in the first place, which, from what I understand, makes your eyes more sensitive to sunlight than others. So that was my experience. And like I said, I'm still doing the drops, and I'm going to have my second surgery in this coming Tuesday. Now, for those of you who've never had cataract surgery, let me tell you, it's nothing. It is absolutely nothing. If you're putting it off because the idea of having somebody messing with your eyes makes you squeamish, I can understand why you'd think that way. But let me reassure you, everybody I spoke to, and I'm sure everybody you've spoken to, has told you that it is 100% pain-free. It takes 10 minutes at the most. And they even give you, in my case, and I think this is probably standard procedure, before you go in to the operating room, they give you a little couple of drops of something called Versed, which is a benzodiazepine. All it does is help you calm down, be calm. Not say calm down. Let me just say it chills you and you're just relaxed. That's all. It's not like you're tripping. It's not like you're, some big deal thing. It's not. You're just a little bit relaxed. Then when you go in, first they do the laser part with your eyes. They break up the cornea, what am I trying to say? Whatever it is. They break it up and get ready to remove it. And in my case, I have had astigmatism, and they were able to flatten the eyeball, whatever they do to make that go away. Then they wheeled me into another room, and an anesthesiologist is in there. You don't even know this is happening. They had previously put a needle in my vein, and you don't even see it. You don't even know it's happening. But he hooks you up to a little bit of that anesthetic called, I think it's called propofol, something like that. It's the same thing you get when you have a colonoscopy. So if you've ever had a colonoscopy, I don't think you get as much as you do when you have a colonoscopy, because I thought I was wide awake and conscious the whole time. And I didn't know what was, next thing I knew, he said, okay, we're done. I said, what are you talking? What do you mean we're done? I just got in here. And that's the way it is. You don't feel anything. You're totally relaxed. And it's a piece of cake. The next thing you know, they're wheeling you out and you're done. So if you're squeamish about people being around your eyes, let me reassure you, you have absolutely nothing to fear. It's nothing. It's nothing. If you've ever had a piece of grass or sand or something get stuck in your eye, that's worse than this, believe me. So my right eye is 100%, left eye soon will be, and I am thankful. I am so grateful for insurance, grateful for science, grateful for the doctors. I'm just grateful at this age to be having full eyesight restored. What a blessing. He also told me that I have absolutely no signs of macular degeneration, which I was really glad to hear. So the only thing left for me, I asked him about this. When you look at me on here, you can see that my eyes look like they're only about half open. So if I open them up, but otherwise it looks like I'm squinting. And that's because the flaps, my eyelids here, have dropped. I don't know if it's from being fat, if it's just old age, whatever it is, I've got these skin pockets that drop down over my eye. So I asked the young lady who was checking my eyes out, I asked her about that surgery, because from what I understand, if it's medically justified, if there's a medical reason for it, Medicare will pay for it. If not, it's considered cosmetic surgery and you got to pay out of pocket. So she told me, just looking at me, she said, I can see that the flaps are covering part of your pupil already. And that's the justification. If the skin is covering your pupil so you can't see fully, then that becomes a medical justification for having the procedure done. So I asked the doc when I went in to see him, and he said, yeah, that's right. And we'll take a look at you, but you got to wait 4 months. So, I don't know why exactly. Obviously, it has something to do with the cataracts. They want to make sure your eyes are fully rehabbed, recuperated, whatever. They want to make sure your eyes are pretty healthy before they perform any other kind of surgeries or procedures. I have no idea what they do, none. So that's still on the horizon, okay? So that's what's been going on for me. If any of you have had cataracts removed and you'd like to discuss it, please feel free to make a comment. Make a comment anyhow. Just say I appreciate it, and subscribe if you'd like to. Look, I have another health concern that I had kind of put on the back burner. I don't talk about it very much, but I've decided, since I'm on here and we're talking about senior life and senior life issues, so many of those are health-related issues. And I do have a health-related issue that I think I'm going to bring up in my next video, and it has to do with Parkinson's. So I don't have Parkinson's, but I am what they call prodromal, which means I have some markers. And there's a possibility, probably a pretty good possibility, that as time goes on, things are going to progress, and at some point I will develop Parkinson's. So I want to talk about that. It's something that's been going on for quite a few years now, actually. And I'm happy to share my experience with folks in case they can learn something, benefit from it, or just feel like, hey, there's somebody else is in this boat, and I can talk to him about it, so we can get a dialogue going, okay? So that's about it for now, folks. I hope you all have a nice weekend. It's Sunday here. It's still very hot and very dry. And I'm really, really looking forward either to getting some rain or some cooler weather. Like I said, it's just early August, so I know we've got a good 5 to 6 weeks left of hot weather before it even starts to cool off. So looking forward to it. Football season right around the corner, 4 weeks, and we have our first home game. I can't wait. All right, guys, have a nice week, and I will talk to you again real soon. Y'all take care.